Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and welcome to a new game on the channel. Now, I've been playing this game for 3 to 4 days to say the least. I love it so far. Now, this game that I'll be playing a lot of on the channel is called Heroes Quest, the automatic roguelike RPG. Now, what does the title entail? The automatic feature of the game is very simple. You don't have to manual any fights that you do in the game. Every fight is automatic, as the title suggests. The only thing you do manually is move through the maps, you fight bosses, you fight mobs, you allocate your stats, your equipment, etc., so on and so forth. We'll get to that later in the video. The roguelike portion of the game is basically that. Moving through dungeons, fighting mobs, fighting bosses, and allocating your stats and equipment good enough, or well enough in this case, to beat those bosses, move through harder parts of the game until you get to the very end. Now, enough of that, let's get on with the game. Now, a few things of note. This is your character in the middle, and what I have is a floating control stick, and you can fix this in your settings. You can fix it to where it's either fixed or if it's floating like mine. Now, the main premise of the game is simple. You find a mob, you go to it, and your fights are automatic. You don't have to manual anything. The only thing you do manually is you allocate your stats, you move around through the map, you fight different mobs, you fight the boss in some parts of the map, and there will be a barrier, mostly, to indicate that you cannot pass the area until you beat the boss. Now, let's talk about our stats for a minute. We have with us 5 stats: health, attack, defense, agility, and luck. Now, I will explain all of these stats. HP increases your health. It increases it by 24 per point. Attack increases your damage output that you apply to different enemies. And that can increase due to your gear, your relics, and other stuff like that. This increases to 4 per point. Defense increases your defense and your shield at the start of the battle, which is plus 4 points. And a thing of note here, your shield equals half of your defense. Agility increases your crit hit chance and your attack speed. This is a very important stat along with attack if you're going a glass cannon route. They also increase plus 4 per point. Now, luck is a very important stat if you want to do something called gold runs. Now, what a gold run is simple. You don't invest in any stat apart from luck. Now, why is luck so important in a gold run? Well, luck increases your gold drop and your evasion. Now, for players like me and other people that have reached the end of the game, we do gold runs a lot to see how much gold we can get in a single run. Now, this also increases plus 4 per point. And another thing about agility, the enemy agility affects your attack speed and critical hit chance. So, right now, I have 7.309 million agility, which puts me at 15 attack speed, which is the max, and 75% crit chance, which is also the max, if you're not using the 20% crit hero. I also have 30% evasion due to having 1.361 million luck. Now, let us go ahead and fight the boss. Now, as you can see throughout the game, every one of the mobs will have levels, but not the boss. The boss is an unknown level. You can usually assume that the boss is maybe like 50 or 100 levels higher than the mobs. Now, another thing about the mobs and bosses... Ooh, I just got an item, nice. Anyways, a thing to note about the bosses are this. I usually like to see in a new area if a mob deals more than half of my health before I defeat it. I keep farming the area until I get better gear. But, however, if a mob does not deal more than half of my health during a fight, if it deals less than my health when I kill it, I attempt the boss to see if I can beat it. But this is also RNG dependent on whether your enemy misses you a lot, or if the enemy gets a lot of damage on you and you don't, right? So most of this is RNG dependent, and you also have to allocate your stats wisely, some would say. Now, as you see, I'm doing a gold run currently. I am just allocating luck at the moment to get more gold. And as you can see, there are different color indicators for what damage I do to a specific enemy or a specific boss. If it appears in red, it is a normal hit. If it appears in yellow, it is a critical hit. But there's another type of damage indicator in the game called true damage. Now, some of you may be asking yourself, what is true damage? Well, true damage ignores the enemy defense by a specific amount, but it also has a % chance to proc. So, what I have is called Cold Flame. This is a relic that you can buy from the shop, and it gives me plus 16% true damage chance. True damage is just another word for defense break. Or rather, not defense break, ignore defense. It's basically all it is you ignore the defense of the enemy that you're currently fighting. And the cool thing about true damage is that it can crit as well. So same as your normal damage, as you saw right there, true damage can also crit, which is really nice for some of those bosses that you're having a lot of trouble with, and you just really need to get the edge. You know what I mean? Now, as you can see, some of the enemies are getting a little tougher. My attack speed is decreasing, which means I may need to allocate some points into agility later on, once I get below 10 attack speed or something like that. Or rather, when I get to a low enough attack speed that I'm dealing less damage than the enemy is doing to me. And at first, I didn't like the floaty controls. And I didn't know that you could adjust your controls to be fixed. So I just went with floaty controls for a while, and now I've gotten used to it. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing enough damage here, so we can fight Turtle King right now. And him not deal any damage towards me. Feels good being this powerful sometimes. Anyways. Let's talk about our equipment for a second. Now, the way that you get to your equipment is you press the pause button. This will pause your game entirely. And you see 3 options. You see stats, which takes you to your stat menu. Say if you watched an ad to gain extra energy to go on the game for longer, right? Usually, it won't let you allocate your stats until you watch the video, or if you exit the game or whatever. So, after you watch the ad, to gain plus 5 energy for your final run, you can go to the pause menu, you can click stats, and then you can allocate your points as here. Now, your equipment will be in the equipment part of the menu. Now, you have 5 pieces of equipment and 4 relics. You have 1 relic slot that's unlocked at the start of the game, but you need to unlock the last 3 parts with tickets, which is up here in the top right of my equipment menu. Ooh, excuse me. Now these pieces of equipment allocates to each of your 5 stats. Your weapon allocates to attack, your armor allocates to your defense, your ring to your agility, your cloak to your health, and finally, your helm to your luck. Now, a lot of people ask the question, well, what gear should I go for first? And a lot of people say different things. I usually go for attack, agility, health, luck, and defense. But most people that are actually a little better at the game than I am, if I'm being honest with you, go for luck. Let's see. Most people go for luck, health, attack, agility, and then defense. Now, in both of those scenarios, defense is last. Why? Well, defense is kind of useless at the moment. But maybe in a future update, it will actually serve some use. Right? So yeah, usually your attack, agility, and health are your 3 most important stats. And luck is also important if you want to do a gold run. And defense is useless. Now, as you can see here, there are different tiers of weapons, helms, cloaks, rings, armor that you can get. And most of them, actually all of these, have a fixed number in which it will allocate to your main stat, and then they have a bonus which is added to that main stat number, which is really nice if you get something like the Earth Helm, which is 15.5 million luck, and you get a 275% bonus. That's nuts. That's a lot. Or if you get something like Mjolnir, which is nearly 11 million attack, and it adds a 3290% bonus to it. That's insane. That's crazy. Like, that's a lot if you think about it. And you can see that the bonus is applied to your main stat here. Well, it'll increase it by a lot. And now, let's go to options real quick. Now, you'll have your basic options here. You'll have your music, your sound effects, your post effects, your floating controls, short numbers, auto-close stats, your languages. Then, you can always go through the main menu here to go back to the main menu of the game. And then, if we go back to options, the game has a Discord server. Now, this Discord server has a wonderful community, one of which I am a part of, that helps out with questions that any new members might have. Normally, people would flex, showing that they get endgame gear somewhat quickly once they get to the endgame, and other stuff like that. And another good thing about this community, well, I mean, the only really good thing about this community is that everyone is helpful. Even I'm helpful. I mean, I try to help out as much as I can. But there's other people that are more helpful than I am. They provide tips for the game. They chill, they meme, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I forgot to mention that the owner of the server and the creator of this game was actually created by one person. And the amount of commitment that they're putting to the game and the quality of it in general is really nice. Like, I would love to have the experience needed to create a game like this with this well of quality. And these mechanics that they've put into the game are absolutely, well, they're really good. I was gonna say they're absolutely phenomenal, but I'll just pin it down to they're really good. I like the mechanics of this game a lot. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and fight some of these 17,000s. Invest more into some luck. Now, we don't really need to invest into attack or agility until the next map, after I go ahead and beat Executioner right here. Very nice. Don't need to invest in any important stats at all apart from luck. Oh god. Alright. Now to progress to the next map. The next dungeon, so to speak. See if we can find some 19700s. There you are. Let's actually see if we can beat Mecha Goblin without attack. Ooh, close but no cigar. Very close. Alright. Now that usually means I need to allocate my stats into attack and agility and health. Oh god. Alright. Now we start investing into our other stats, which will help out greatly for upcoming bosses like the Mecha Goblin and other bosses beyond. Now, right now, I'm investing into agility to get my attack speed up some, which will be very beneficial for later bosses. And then after I get to a comfortable attack speed, I'll start investing into attack, because I don't really need to invest in health a lot. It's mostly attack and agility that I need to allocate, so to speak. And also the character designs for the mobs and your character alone are really good. I like those too. And while we're on the topic of characters, let's go back to the main menu really quickly. And my character is a type of hero that you can buy with tickets. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of heroes. And there will be many more through future updates. So, the character you will always start out with until you buy tickets for a future hero will be the Elven Rogue. And what the Elven Rogue does is it gives you a certain percentage of a particular stat. So the Elven Rogue gives you 3% crit. Let's go to some other mob. The Dark Mage will give you plus 20 attack. The Cow Princess will give you plus 0.35 attack speed. The Ice Master will give you 14% crit. So on and so forth until you get to these four right here. The Necromancer, the Spellcaster, the Summoner, and the Assassin. If you want to do a crit run, you can always go with the Assassin to increase your max crit to 95%. But the the heroes that are most likely used are the Spellcaster and the Necromancer. Why? The Necromancer gives you plus 150% agility, which is added to your bonus, which is also added to the main stat of your current agility. So say I want the Necromancer right now, I continue, I go ahead, I pause, I look at my stats, boom, I have 22.9 million agility. That's crazy. Because my main agility right now is 7.364 million. And that's also taking into effect, if you go to your equipment, if you go to your ring, this ring, the Venom ring, gives me 7.309 million agility with a 3290 percentage of a bonus. Now, you can take into account the 150% bonus and add it to that to make it go up astronomically. And that's really cool. That's really awesome. That's really nice. Now let me just go back. Let me go back to my spellcaster real quick and continue. Other things that you might notice in your little dungeon, your little roguelike area right here. You'll notice your level on the top left. You'll notice your gold on the top right. That will just keep going with how much luck I put into my luck stat. And you'll notice energy at the bottom left. Now, energy is interesting. That is the only thing that is allowing you to fight mobs. And it only goes down by 1 if you defeat a mob, 2 if you lose against a mob. And everyone has a limit of 30 energy. That means you'll keep wasting it until you hit the cap, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do with energy. You start out with 30, but you can increase the cap to 35 if you buy like $2 worth of tickets, or you buy a $2 pack to get rid of advertisements, give yourself a bit of tickets, a bit of gold, whatever, something like that. And there are relics that you can use to increase your max energy further. So you can go up from 32 to 37 if you equip the +2 max energy relic. And there are 4 max energy relics. There's one that goes to +2, one for +4, +6, and finally +8. If you wanted to do an energy run, you can go all the way from 50 to 55 energy if you have every energy relic equipped. And another interesting thing about energy is if you unequip a specific relic, an energy relic, so to speak, before it's completely used, you'll go back to 35. You'll go back to 35 energy because you didn't use the available energy that the relic gave you. So you have to keep an eye on how much energy you've used before you start unequipping relics, if you're using the max energy ones. Now, let's keep fighting some mobs, allocating my points into attack, stuff like that. Once we get to 30 million attack, I'll try the Mecha Goblin one more time, see if I can beat him. Which we shouldn't be here that much longer to do that. And whilst I do this, that'll be the end of my video. So thank you all for coming. I do appreciate the time that you've spent to watch this video, learn a few things about the game. I'll be making more videos. I'll be making many more videos soon about this game in general, because this game needs a little bit of advertising. It's very new. It's not been advertised that often. I've been going around in different Discord servers trying to advertise the game with only having a few people, take a look at it, see how it is, and like it overall, because this game is great. Or that's what I say anyways. So if you want, when you play the game, when you go to your main menu, like here, when you go to your options, you can always click on the Discord server. It'll give you some verification. It'll give you a link to join. And it would be really nice if you did. It would be really nice if you joined the server, if you helped the game and the server grow exponentially. And if you want, go ahead and advertise this video, advertise the server to other Discord servers, and have people try out the game. The dev has worked a lot on this game, He has several testers to test out this game, and it would really make him happy, as well as I, if this game was advertised more often, and if more people did videos or streams of this particular game. I'm just the outlet, the first outlet for this game, the first catalyst to a movement, an era of everyone playing Heroes Quest, with many, 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 many updates to come. Many that people will love, many that people might not like, but that's all to come later. Now, again, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to take the time to see if you're subscribed, it would really help me out a lot. And like the video, put on my notifications if you want more updates on any videos that I do. And just join the Discord server. Join the Discord server for this game if you decide to play it. It would really help out the dev. It would really help me out too. Now, until then, I bid you adieu.